Today's science experiment involves bread. So we're going to do a bread experiment. Here is what you need: 3 slices of bread, 3 press and seal sandwich bags, markers or pens, and you need an adult to help you with this. So here's the fun part. The first thing you're going to do is get your hands as dirty as possible. Once your hands are nice and dirty, you're going to take a slice of bread and press them between your hands and squeeze. Then you're going to put that slice of bread in a sandwich bag. Now the adult is going to write dirty hands on that bag. Now you're going to wash your hands and then dry them. You're going to take another slice of bread and put it between your hands and squeeze again. That bread you put in a different sandwich bag, and the adult is going to write washed hands on that. Lastly, you're going to put a slice of bread in a bag, in another bag. Make sure you don't touch it. And the adult is going to label that no hands. That is our control. So we're going to compare the other breads to the bread that's in this bag that's not touched. And then you're going to check every day to see what happens. I did this experiment with a friend, and we're going to see what happened. Here's how our experiment started. We went to the park and we had so much fun. We started by playing in the dirt. Then we played on the slide. We put some dirt on the slide. After we put some dirt on the slide, we went on the monkey bars, and then after going on the monkey bars, we started climbing up rocks. Now, after we got our hands all dirty, now this is where part 2 of the experiment came in. So, we took out some bread, and then we took the bread and put it between our hands, and then we squeezed that bread really tight, and that we put in a sandwich bag. Afterwards, we washed our hands with soap and water. Now, after washing our hands, we got another slice of bread and then we put it in between our hands and squeezed really tightly. That bread went into another sandwich bag. Then we had a third slice of bread that nobody was supposed to touch. We put that in a sandwich bag as well. Here are our results. Day 1. See, we have over here the dirty hands. We have clean hands here. Here we have no hands. So this is day 1. So for the dirty hands, you kind of see that there's something there. For the clean hands, or I'd say washed hands, because we can't assume that if you wash your hands, they're clean. We had that here, and then no hands here. So this is what happened on day 5. Day 5, the dirty hands still look the same. You see there's a little something in the middle here. For the clean hands, we have something that's here. And for the no hands, we still don't see anything. Now, day 22, look what happens. For the clean hands, we see stuff mold. We have some gray stuff here and some yellow stuff there. For the dirty hands, it looks pretty much the same. And then for no hands, it still looks like nothing happened. So remember I said like the no hands was the control? So we were comparing to see if these 2 slices of bread that we touched looks any different from the one that we didn't touch. And you can see that it looks much different. Now here on the no hands, we see that there is something going on here that looks kind of like the clean hand ones and the dirty hand ones. So why does it look like this? The dirty hands has molds all over the bread because what happens is there are germs on our hands and it went onto the bread and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and spreading all over the bread. Now you're probably wondering, why does the clean hands look like the dirty hands? The hands that touched this that were supposed to be clean were not really clean. So my best guess is that our little friend that washed her hands and touched the bread, one, she didn't wash her hands properly, and two, she didn't dry her hands properly. So her hands were still wet and still dirty, and it spread all over the bread. Now we see there's a little bit here, which means that she probably kind of touched that one too. So you can try this experiment at home and see if you get some different results. So one thing I can suggest is if when you wash your hands, make sure you wash it nice and clean to see if your experiment looks like mine. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to wash your hands properly so that your experiment with the washed hands doesn't look like this. Now I'm going to ask you questions. Question 1. What happened to the bread that was touched with dirty hands on day 22? Was it A, there was a lot of mold on it? So was it B, there was a little bit of mold on it? Or was it C, there was no mold at all? So remember what happened in the 3 pictures. What happened on day 22? If you said there was a lot of mold on it, you are correct. There was a lot of mold on that bread. Question number 2. Why was there mold on the bread that was touched with washed hands? Why was there mold on the bread that was touched with washed hands? Was it A, the hands were washed correctly? Was it B, the hands were not washed correctly? Or was it C, what mold? There was no mold. If you said that the hands were not washed correctly, give yourself 2 points. You were paying attention. The hands were not washed correctly, so that's why mold spread all over the bread. Question number 3. Why do we need a control in this science experiment? Why do we need a control in this science experiment? Was it A, to compare or to see if all the bread looked the same? B, to make a sandwich? Or C, no reason? What do you think? If you said to compare or to see if all the bread looked the same, you are correct. Give yourself 2 points. Now, if you decide to do this experiment on your own, let me know how the results came out.